These fancy headphones even.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What?
for the 979th time, it is the Mason and Friends show, featuring that lady called Lisa,
What?
as well as that dude called his Junus.
What up, bitches?
Me, I am Mahoney. Welcome to the Mason and Friends show.
I'm not digging the curly hair with the headphones.
Well, everything you do with your hair and your headphones, you just look
And
delightful.
you're like, what is this?
Perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's exactly the style I expected you to bring to the table.
Like if I were a dude, I could really have one of those like little swoops like I...
Oh, like the little fold over the eye thing and shit.
I knew a kid in the 90s that just had bangs. That was it. The rest was cut short.
So bad.
He just had bangs that held down in his eyes.
Not cute.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous. But he could still hide his eyes. He just didn't have any hair elsewhere.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. Those were the 90s, man. The good old days.
I was talking to Andrew the other night about dudes that had blonde tips growing up. That was like a big thing. Like guys that would try to put the, like Mark McGrath, you know, from that band.
Okay, all right, I know what you're talking about.
Like the blonde tips on
Did
their...
they spike their hair and
Yes.
then tip the blonde?
Yes.
Blonde the tips?
Yes, I asked Andrew if he had ever done that growing up. He said no. He said absolutely not.
Jude, did you ever have a rat tail?
No.
Okay.
That I could see.
All right. Yeah, like I'm like with the way you've rocked mullets.
No, there's no way Dorothy
Not
would
like,
let that
not
happen.
purposely, but like when when I had the buzz, it would try to start forming a rat tail area.
Get a little ratty back
Yeah,
there.
but I'd never really try to rock that.
Yeah, I knew some kids that had some nasty rat tails.
Yeah.
Like
It's
if
still
you,
a thing. And where I live in Hanover, when the Hanover Basketball Youth League or whatever that my boys played at, there were multiple kids with rat tails. Like,
Rat
like,
tails.
yeah, like actually like braided little rat
I respect
tails.
the mullet coming back more than I do rat tail.
Yeah.
Rat tails
ridiculous.
were just terrible. Plus, aren't you gonna shit on that one day if you let it get too long? It's gonna end up in your booty. It's gonna end up in your toilet.
Yeah, let's throw it over.
You're gonna be like, oh man, let me
Wrap
throw
it
this.
around your neck.
So, I don't know. I don't think that happens to girls with long hair, but
What do they do with their hair? What they grab it?
I bet it does. If
you like swoop it to the side.
What I'm saying, you're used to it. The ladies are used to it. You get some kid, he's growing his rat tail for the first time, he's 7. Finally got like that 1.5 foot rat tail, and then he sits down and shits all over it.
Yeah, we got to think about these things, especially like if you wear a bodysuit with the little snaps in the crotch, like when you have to go to the bathroom then and you like unhook it, you got to make sure you tuck up the back side so you don't accidentally pee on the
Well, you gotta like fold it all under you and pull it out in front, I would think, and then sit down.
well, you unsnap
Like you gotta
it.
drop the whole thing to your ankles.
I would,
and then pull it forward
if
and then sit down to
That's what
pee.
you have to do if it doesn't have the snaps. But like a lot of them have the like snaps right there, and you can just unsnap it like a baby onesie and just hoist it up.
Like the
around your
literal
boobs.
back in the day when the butthole was hanging out.
Like
the butt flap
the
on
butt
the
flap.
back of the pants.
Kind
Back
of, but
flap
instead
comes up
it's-
in the front and just butt snaps in
I
the
was gonna say you undo the butt flap and then flip it all
Yeah,
the way
but
to
it's
the
not a
front.
butt flap. It's just a three
snatch
little,
flap,
like
apparently.
2 little snaps right by your crotch.
Just as part of ladies' clothing
Yes,
specifically.
yes.
Because whenever I'm rocking an overall type thing or whatever, it doesn't
You gotta
have any.
take the
I gotta
whole
take the
thing
whole
out.
thing down to the ankles to take a shit or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Like a bathing suit. Like girls have to do that with bathing suits. Or you can just hold it off to the side if you're like smooth enough.
Yeah.
That's what I usually do.
I do that smooth off to the side shit.
Yeah, you just like hold it and then pee.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
little side skirt.
Just a little.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
So yeah, man, things are fully out of control out there in the world. I don't even want to talk about all the out of controlness of the world, but
I feel
like I
really
must.
ignorant because that I did not realize like who that Charlie Kirk guy was. I didn't really know. I knew the only thing I knew about him was that he's the guy that started that big group. What is it like?
Turning Point USA.
Yes, Turning Point USA. Because back when I used to work in political commercials, like
okay.
booking political commercials, I would see that
Yeah,
organization.
they were coming up when you were doing that.
Yes. And that's the only thing I ever knew about that guy. I was like, that's how I knew. But I didn't realize he was some super, like
Huge.
everybody said, I never heard anybody talk about this motherfucker, and then he dies, gets shot, and then all my friends are like people that I know are like posting about all this stuff on Facebook, like talking about how fucked up it is that this man that just is all about free speech got murdered, and I'm like, I don't think any of y'all did y'all really listen to him? Did y'all really like follow this dude, or are we just outraged that someone was violently murdered? You know?
Well, I mean...
Tell me about him. Was he a cool motherfucker? Like, he's super conservative,
here's
right?
the thing. He's super conservative. I don't agree with all of that, but I'm not against all of that either.
Yes, I understand.
He was entirely reasonable, I think. I think he said some stuff that I definitely disagree with, but he said some stuff that I do agree with.
He's not like a Ben Shapiro type, though, right? Like, he's not quite as, like...
He wasn't a cuck to Israel.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that might have something to do with why somebody popped him. But like that's levels of conspiracy deep that, you know, probably aren't really true because of what it looks like happened, where it appears that it was just some dude that was dating a trans girl and was super offended by his trans statements.
Yeah, that's what I read about that too.
See, the thing is, it's like, I haven't spent 10,000 hours studying Charlie Kirk by any means, but I've always been aware of him because I've always been about free speech.
Right.
And he's been about free speech.
Big,
and
yeah.
I have a lot of respect for what he's done and what he did and the way he would do it. I feel that I've watched lots of people say really egregiously mean and horrible things to him, and he would typically say something to the effect of, "God bless you, I hope you have a good day." He was always incredibly cordial in a way that I don't think I could always be.
Right.
You know, like I was impressed by him. He's the best of what those people are that are super hardcore conservatives that want to like go and talk to people that disagree with them.
Right.
You know, as far as like the guy sitting on a college campus by a table that says prove me wrong. He wants to have a real substantive conversation with people, and I think he did. I've seen him have a lot of really substantive conversations. And I think a lot of what he says gets bastardized because he's misquoted. And, you know, I don't appreciate that, but really what I don't appreciate is people like one of my dirtbag cousins that's openly celebrating and happy about
that's not
political
cool either.
murder.
Like, that's really, like, you don't want to be like, I don't know, that's just gross to me.
It's absolutely disgusting.
I don't know.
And, you know, like, I respect your right to say something that contradicts what I think or what I believe or is even mean or inappropriate. I respect your right to say that. God knows I say inappropriate and sometimes mean things on this show all the time. I don't want to be murdered for it. But, like, I respect your right to be offended, but I don't respect your right to attack and try to kill someone because of your disagreements with them. And when groups of people are out here celebrating the murder of someone that they were politically against for no other reason than they were politically against that person, I find it just entirely reprehensible.
Right. Like, there's a difference between being outraged because you disagree with someone's beliefs and being outraged because you're being a bigot. Or you're, like, being so far, you know,
a lot of it's irked me.
On them.
It's irked me because we live in a world where hate is, like, being normalized as a reasonable way to look at the world.
Yes.
You look at the world through the lens of hatred, and your ability to actually see what's happening is completely taken away from you through the lens of that hatred. George,
because you cannot be a witness to something that you're consumed by. Like, if you are just all hate and all anger, that's an all-consuming possessive thing. It's possessing you.
If you love it completely, you can't have a perspective on it that's proper.
Exactly.
That's why I try not to love or hate political movements, thoughts, ideas. I try to understand them, and I think that's what Charlie Kirk was doing, and I respect that. And I find that the people that can't have respect for that are typically very unable to have a reasonable engagement and conversation because they're so full of hate that anger just spews out, and they can't even point out what might be a point. You know, they'll just say some sort of platitude. He was a bigot. He hated this or that. He was anti this, so fuck him. And I'm like, that's not a fair judgment or methodology for making an opinion. And like I appreciate George Bush because the Patriot Act made me hate him for a little while.
Of course,
But
yeah.
I learned that when I was like, I don't know, 23 or something. I was like, I can't continue to hate this man because it distorts my ability to judge him.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm too into politics.
Yeah,
to
to
not
not be well versed on it.
to not have an opinion that is not
Educated.
tainted by bias against someone because of my hatred for them.
Right.
Like I can not like a lot of things that people say, but sometimes someone that I don't like says something and I'm like, ooh, that's a really good point. And I have a great appreciation for that, and I think that that's what Charlie Kirk was primarily trying to do. And you know, it really just makes me sick that I have like people in my family that are
Dancing.
openly dancing about the murder of someone that they disagree with.
That makes you worse than the beliefs that you hated he
while
had.
calling him a fascist, while you're celebrating a fascist activity to remove him from
Yeah, it's
from the
it's
mix.
hypocritical.
It's so disgusting. It's beyond hypocrisy. And you know, like I wrote this cousin off when Kennedy was running and had a fight with him on Facebook where he was talking about how Kennedy shouldn't have the right to be on the ballot. And I'm like, you don't have to vote for him. All you have to do is respect his right to be there, respect the fact that he has an altered opinion from what your opinion is about things. And he just couldn't have that. And I was like, well, you're a fascist authoritarian. And I called him that years ago, and now he's out here, you know, celebrating that a man was killed that he disagrees
Proving you
with.
right, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you see, you're a fascist
You're
authoritarian.
still a fascist
You're
authoritarian.
fucking worse.
Yeah.
Now you're like a terrorist totalitarian fascist authoritarian. Like you want to...
And really, people like that are actually just loud. More than they are anything. More than they are correct. More than they are passionate. More than they are like actually
Engaged in the subject.
educated enough to
Exactly.
have as much of an opinion as they
That's
have.
right.
They just have a loud
Like
opinion.
this gay dude thinks that Charlie Kirk wants him dead. And I'm like, I've seen Charlie Kirk specifically go after conservatives that are anti-gay. Like there's a clip of him and he's like, do you think that the guy's like, you're a traitor to MAGA or whatever, or he says to him, you know, do you think that it's a good thing that they have gay people in the cabinet now? And he said no. And he was like, well, then you're not real MAGA. And I'm not real MAGA either, but I love that opinion of like, if you're against them because of this, then you're not worthy of being a part of this thing that I am trying to perpetrate here, you know? And that, I've seen too much of him to believe the bullshit points that the people that hate him say.
I know.
Because I'm like, sorry, I've seen him say this stuff.
like that snippet that everybody's posting where he was like, I hate the word empathy.
Yeah, and
I
if you
hate-
watch the rest of
But
it,
if
it's
you watch the
incredibly well thought out
yeah,
statement.
They just took that snippet and like that's the meme that everybody's latching
he says,
onto.
I don't like
and saying he's
empathy because it
a bad
implies
person,
it
yeah.
implies that I know what you're feeling, and I can't know what you're feeling because no human can know what another human is feeling.
Right.
And then he says something to the effect of, you know, I not empathy, but like sympathy.
Yeah, sympathy
like,
is different.
I feel bad for you. I wish the best for you. I want to help you get to that better place.
But I'm not in your shoes.
Right, so I can't tell you how you feel. All I can do is talk to you about it, try to understand, and try
Yeah.
to convey to you a way to get to the next level, to get better.
Well, it's weird because like I have to teach this, right? Working at like being the boss of a call center, like teaching people the difference between what is demonstrating empathy for someone and what is sympathizing with them. And it's a fine line because sometimes customers can take sympathy as like you just feel sorry for them.
Right.
Like you just feel sorry for them. But empathy is like you can actually relate to them. And like you can like draw from your own past experiences and be like, yeah, I've been in a similar situation. I know how you're feeling. Like that's empathy to me. Like putting yourself in that person's shoes. But I think the way Charlie Kirk was talking about empathy was more like, I'm not going to pretend to know what you're going through because if I do, I could be projecting what I think you're feeling, and I can't tell you what I think you're feeling.
Yeah, I can't tell you what you are
It's just a different way
feeling.
of thinking about. Like I think of empathy. I think empathy is a good thing because I think that people should try to walk a mile in another man's shoes before they judge. But I also can see how if applied incorrectly, it could be a projection of what your own past experiences bring to a situation, as opposed to what somebody's actually going through.
Right. In your attempt to empathize, you may be like completely missing their point.
I do it all the time.
Or what they need.
I do it all the time with people. Like, I'm like, oh, that reminds, I have a similar thing, and like I'll say something, and they'll be like, no, Lisa, that's like a little off base, like,
Right.
you know. But it's just like, because you make everything personal. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a.
Well, like when I'm selling car parts, sometimes it's like, sorry, dude, I can't get you a fuel pump anymore. You know, and I'm like, I can relate. I have fuel pump issues in my own life. You know what I mean? But there's like a legitimacy there because
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing as you in a sense. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to make an old car run too. You're trying to make an old car run. There, we're pretty close. But if you're like, you know, hemophiliac hermaphrodite from Haiti, like,
God damn.
which is a reference to George Carlin. Shout out George Carlin. But you know, like, I can't fully grasp what your life is like.
Yeah.
That's why I need to talk to you and sympathize with you and try to help you get to a better place if I can.
Right.
Like, and I don't know, I think that having a greater understanding of people that aren't like you is the only way to better the world and move us to a better place so that we can be sympathetic towards people when they
Yeah.
deserve that sympathy.
You know what's really like a challenge? Trying to teach somebody that the way that
The way they've been taught is wrong.
Well, like the way that they're reacting to your words isn't like productive conversation. Like some people have conversations and listen to what you're saying just so that they can like prepare their defense while you're talking and then retort.
Right,
and
they've
rebut.
already got their reply planned, and they're waiting for you to stop
Yeah,
talking.
like they're just listening to respond. They're not listening to actually hear and learn. And that's like a challenge in the workforce that I have with
Well,
people.
you know, that's what public school has done to us.
Yeah.
It's trained us to believe what we're taught and not be able to think. So, like, you know, Columbus sailed the blue, when was it? 1492. You're conditioned. You know, that's the answer. Like, if we want to talk about specifics, that depends on how open someone's mind can be.
Right.
In keeping it with Columbus, 1492. Oh, he left in 1490. He landed in 1492, or he left in 1491. He landed in 92. He continued to float around in 93, or you know, who knows, right?
Yeah.
There can be nuance to it, but depending on how open mind an individual is,
Yeah.
it's 1492. That's the answer. So what you're dealing with is trying to teach people sometimes. Well, there's more to it than just 1492.
Yeah.
There's January of 91. There's April of 93. There's
Everything's not so black and white.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we are training our children to be black and white
I
in a
know.
world that is just shades of gray constantly.
I know.
And I don't know. I just think that he was out there trying to show people shades of gray and lead with peace, like, and all that kind of shit. And that's what makes me so upset about it, is that it's like, I feel the same way. Like, on a grand scheme of things, I'd love to, at this point, we just need to take the podcast, Mike, did you and myself, go set up on college campuses and be like, what's up?
Yeah.
And just start talking to people and be like, yo, why are you so mad? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, we should do ours, set up a table that says, why are you so mad? And then people can come up and scream about why they're mad, and we can talk to them about that. And that could be healthier than just being mad. You know what I mean? But like, it's so disappointing to see people that like I love by default and that I want the best for because I'm literally related to them, be so fucking far out of bounds.
Be so ignorant.
That it's like, you're not even invited to my parents' funeral now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want you around. I don't trust you. You're a violent-minded individual. Like, you're dangerous, even
And
though
like that's what I'm saying. Like he's just loud. Like he's probably not even really like.
I'm sure he hasn't watched the
like,
video.
At the end of the day, he wouldn't.
I'm sure he hasn't watched
probably-
anything that could
yeah.
make him feel bad about the way he is
Like he wouldn't have
decided
pulled the
to.
trigger on Charlie. Like
Absolutely not.
You know, so it's like sit down.
He wouldn't have been able to get up on the roof.
Right.
My cousin couldn't have got his ass up on the roof.
Yeah, so like maybe not spout such hateful rhetoric when.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So this is another dude. He got
don't be
shot with another
hateful.
guy on the roof.
This was a
Still ain't
very
figured out how
similar,
to check the roof.
very
yet.
similar
We
to
still ain't
Trump.
checking the roof around here.
Here's the difference. Charlie Kirk was just a guy. Charlie Kirk was just a guy. He didn't have Secret Service type protection. And
Yeah.
I've heard that there was a guy that runs a security service that told him, dude, you need bulletproof glass around you.
Something.
Like, you
Yeah.
need this. And he just was out there
He's
like
"No,
you or
fine."
I are right now. And this dude,
Trusting
200
people.
yards out with a 30-06, just took him
Was
out.
he on the roof of a building though, for real?
Yeah, he was on the roof of a building. They have video of him on the roof. They have video of him jumping off the roof. They have video of him walking to the thing. They have video of him walking away from the thing. They've got camera shots from him all over the place. They got ring cams on the guy. I mean, you know, apparently his father recognized him, called him out, accosted him about it, and then held him down until the cops got there.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, you know, it's just so sad. Like, you could have gone down and grabbed the mic and been like, fuck you.
That's a good shot.
It was a good shot.
200 yards with 30 out 6.
It was a good shot.
I mean, he's probably
He
aiming
caught
for the
him- he
heart,
caught him
you
in
know
the-
what I mean?
No, he was aiming for the head. He caught him
Was
in the
he aiming
throat.
for the head?
They said there was about 5 inches of difference that he didn't account for.
Yeah, but what was the wind and, you know, the
Right.
direction?
But he caught him right in the
200 yards.
throat.
I mean, goddamn, that's a shot,
He
bro.
blew his
Yeah.
throat out and he bled out right
That's
there.
a shot. Even with a scope, that's a fucking shot. I mean, you hitting him, you know what I mean?
Well, it took a leftist that was raised by Republicans that taught him how to shoot when he was young to be able to make the shot.
Probably.
Is really what it appears to be, because
What-
the rest
what-
of them
what
haven't
state
been
was
that
this?
good. Utah.
Oh, that's right. This is
Utah State
more Utah
University or Utah Valley University or some shit like that.
Shit. Them Utah fuckers are crazy, man.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know what thought occurred to me? Like, we've got all these like college expos and shit coming up for my son, and like we're getting emails now about like, come tour our campus. And like, for the first time ever, I thought about like all the university school shootings. And even though like there's a lot of like school
Send him
shootings
to
in
Liberty.
general, I'm like, okay, I've kind of always had to, as a parent, you have to just overcome the fact that like that's a thing now. Like kids have to have drills where they go and hide under their desks and lock the doors, and they have to do active shooter drills and shit. And like some offices do, we have one once a year where we do an active shooter drill, and we have to all go hide in the hallways and shit. But like that, I feel like I
not
feel
a good
normal
spot.
about. But yeah, there's like designated safety areas. Like one of them is like a like it's just random hallways in the office that are like more in the cut, you know.
Right.
Like the weird hallway that the one fax machine that works in is at, you know, like by the fax machine hall. That's the hallway my team goes to. But
Well, send them to Liberty. They're allowed to carry.
no, I'm very opposed to
mean-
Liberty University. I am I don't like Liberty University because of
I just
their-
don't like religious stuff being too.
Well, I just don't like the fact that they had so many like rape cover-ups. Like that's a big thing
Oh.
on Liberty campus. Yeah, there was a lot of women that were silenced because it's a religious school. They did not want it to be public, so these women were basically told like,
Shut the hell up, like
yes,
like
and
they were
like
Catholic children.
And they basically like the police in that area refer them to the campus police. And like don't really get involved in things that occur on campus.
bullshit.
And so
well, I don't like that.
yeah, there's a whole lot going on in that school. I listened to like a whole expose podcast about it, which is the only reason I know about it.
That
But-
one going to Charlottesville or is that Roanoke?
Lynchburg, in
Lynchburg,
between.
Yeah.
It's down 29 south of Charlottesville, but it's like
Way down there.
northeast of Roanoke.
You drive by when you're going to Roanoke, right?
But
Not on
my-
81. It's off of 29, so you'd have to
29,
go
yeah.
south.
29, yeah.
You'd have to go south out of Charlottesville to Lynchburg to get there.
Like how long ago was the Virginia Tech shooting?
20 years,
Really?
maybe 22.
Yes, yeah.
No,
It's
maybe,
been a while.
Maybe it's because my kid wants to go. That's the school he wants to go to, and I'm just thinking about it more. But I don't know. I got like a fear in my belly about it.
I haven't really been one of them.
There's
Well, no.
there's always a possibility stuff could happen, because that's just the unfortunate side effect
of life.
of life. And, you know, they've been saying lately, they've been talking a lot about the stats that 30,000 people die of gun violence and most of them are suicide. But when you got 300,000 people in the country, I mean, what percentage of likelihood is that? Like, you're more likely to die in a car.
That's
like,
true.
50,000 people or more dying
Yeah.
in car wrecks every year. And so it's like, to me, it's like, yeah, that sucks, but I don't want to lose guns or cars or freedom of speech. Like, if like, I will take the chance of some motherfucker shooting me because I say something that they don't like, because there's sick and twisted people like my cousin that are going to encourage people with the balls to go up and do that, to go do it.
Yeah, but this day and age, you gotta have some kind of bulletproof around your ass.
I mean, if
Something.
we got big,
At
if
the
we was
bare
going
minimum.
to colleges and doing that, like I wouldn't mind having bulletproof
Somebody
glass
like
around
that
me.
be free speech that motherfuckers hate them. Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro, you need to put something together.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
God damn, bro.
I don't describe it coming out like 50 Cent into bulletproof
Or just go out there
vests.
and be hard. Just put the whole fucking the Joker pistol right on the fucking podium. You know what I
he
mean?
came out and pulled
you
that
just pull it out,
pistol
you
out.
just slap it on the podium, and be like, "All right, bitches, this is what we're gonna talk about today." He
Like
might have
Black
got
Bush
some
on-
respect
when
on his
Chappelle
ass.
Show did
Yeah.
Black Bush, and he's like, I
At
wish
least
some
somebody
motherfucker
would have got to
would.
pick it up and try to shoot that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but still, you can't just be going out there free fucking it nowadays. There's so much fucking people with vans out in the world.
With Vans.
They're active shooters.
Well, I know. I don't like that Vans like have that reputation. I really don't.
Well, I
think
mean, I
that's
guess they
true.
should have put the camera on
No.
these motherfuckers' feet. They would have known that they was
Nah,
wearing vans, bro.
It's the problem with the van is always going to be Silence of the Lamb. So dudes, help me put my chair into this van, and then slams the door on this bitch. Like
That's wild.
and now everybody forever is going to think of that. Two in the lexicon, you know. And I tell you what, more with the Charlie Kirk shit. When South Park spoofed him a few weeks back, he took it like a champ. And it really, really elevated my opinion of him because I was like, I wonder how this guy's going to handle this.
He was mature about it.
He was so mature. He was like, this is really funny.
Yeah, good.
Like, and I was
Good.
like, you know what? I like you now. Like, literally, I haven't but liked him for a couple of weeks, and they killed him for it. Like,
I know, it's
you know, like I've always been like not real opinion on him, but then when he took the South Park shit like a fucking champ, like they punched him dead in the chin, and he went, yeah, you guys are being funny. That's all right. You know, like, I mean, he was the best of that shit. It's just
Yeah.
terrible. And then, you know, motherfuckers should be able to go to colleges and ask questions. And I've already seen people getting shine out there on the internet, going out and being like, Charlie Kirk was right, prove me wrong, with stands and out there talking big shit. And I mean, the problem that they don't realize is that dude had millions of young people that were loving him. And they're gonna all go out and start doing the same shit. Like, y'all have created a monster, and I don't like heavily religious-based countries. I'm way against Sharia law, and I'm way against hardcore Christian laws.
Well, it's persecution. It's like when you take a semi-famous figurehead for some kind of political movement, whatever the beliefs are. As soon as that person dies for those beliefs, they become
his martyrdom is
it's like
deep.
and it fuels the fire for fandom. It fuels the fire for more followers.
Yeah, anybody that liked him at all likes him more now.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. But so they actually did the opposite of what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I know. They like.
Fucking stupid.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you fucking people have no idea what kind of monster you might have just created. Because to me, like, I'm just as scared of a high end religious thing. Because I also think that whole like the modern woke thing, not like real woke like Mike says, you know, but like actual what the woke left is these days. Like, they're religious too. That's their religion, and they think that because they don't call it a religion, it's not a religion.
Exactly.
Just like they think because they're left, they can't be fascist. Because everything else about fascism lines up, but not the right. It always says in the definition a right-wing thing characterized by X, Y, and Z, you know? Like attacking people that disagree with you or murdering people that disagree with you. And like, yeah, that's what y'all are doing. You're trying to scream people down, you're trying to kill them down, you're trying to scare people from being open-minded.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just super fucking sad.
What's wrong, baby?
No, I was
Check your
just
bets?
I was looking at the gram and I just saw that shit that Fox was doing on Saturday. That
Oh,
taste testing joint.
he's upset. Pink Fox, we didn't know about your tasting on Saturday. Somehow, some way, we didn't know about it.
District flagship.
And the Jew is sad.
You missed the Pink
Because-
Fox's
because
tasting.
that's-
I'm tasting up in DC, and then I guess Alex is over there at look like Wish and Wellness giving out samples today.
Today?
Today, yeah.
What time till? Oh, we
I
can't
don't know.
go.
We ain't getting up there.
But yesterday was a nap day. It was a very boring day, and the Jew was mad at me all day because I napped. And we could have done something, but we didn't really get going until like 4:30. And by that point, it was too late for us to go visit Pink Box or do anything.
It's already over.
Well, you weren't aware of it.
Like, yeah, I just saw it on the gram. Just
You gotta
scrolling.
visit their page more, I guess. Does he post like their
He
events
probably-
on there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he posts prior.
Because I follow him
don't-
too, but
I
I
don't think
never.
I follow him.
I
like
guess
that.
I'm just not on the gram enough
Well,
to like see random.
I
stuff.
dropped you're a good friend on him, and he hit me up with he needs to come visit us. So hopefully we can get him out here to Warrenton sometime in a couple of weeks or a month or two.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Come hang out, sit on the
No, we
couch
take
with us.
studio back up there, man. That was alright.
That's true. We really can do that. Like that is
That wasn't a
absolutely.
bad.
fun.
That wasn't a bad time at all.
It's a little time consuming, but it was fun.
Yeah.
We have to invite Sarah next time though, y'all. Das Verboten needs to come.
Das Verboten wants to come? Right on.
Yes, she felt bad that she was left out last time.
Well, that's just because she wants to bulldog us into going to her fucking deli on the way out of there or whatever the
talk
fuck it
about
was. I know what's going on.
Don't talk about
I see
that.
you, girl.
Don't
I
talk
see
about
you.
that.
Yeah, but the thing about that is traffic's gonna be
It's gonna be a
just the
bitch
same.
just as much. That's yeah. You
Well,
wanna add 2 hours for a ride? I'm gonna take a
okay.
nap in the car.
I'm just saying.
It's all good. No,
all
like-
of the anger behind that was because it was a promise that was broken.
I'm breaking balls. I'm not trying to step into the middle of that. I hope the honeymooners are having a nice time out there.
Hell yeah.
I hope the black manatee is staying properly hydrated and buoyant.
She posted a story this morning at 10:30, and she was like, "Honeymoons are the best. 3 cocktails and hanging out by the beach and all-inclusive breakfast." And it's like, or she wrote something. I don't think she wrote the breakfast thing, but you could just tell she looked happy as fuck. And it was 10:30 in the morning, so they are living it up. They're having a grand time.
Well, yeah.
I'm jealous.
Right on.
I've never done that. I've never done like the whole all-inclusive trip with a significant
Look,
other.
they
I've
right,
done
they
nothing
right
like
on
that.
the goddamn water. I'm trying to tell you,
I
you already know
know.
where I'd be.
I know.
I've
we
only
should
had
do it. We
I've
should
only
do
had a
it.
hotel once or twice with a couple of significant others.
I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna fucking. I know ain't nobody out there gonna be fishing, so I'm gonna cast a line out there and then walk that bitch up back to the resort and be sitting right there at the bar with my pole still in
Oh
the
my
water,
God, you would have so much
300
fun.
yards out.
We're gonna have
I
to make
get
it like a.
neon bright ass lines of these fucking assholes to see the fishing line that they're gonna get choked
Maybe,
on.
maybe we'll do a Mason and French show 10th anniversary
Cruise.
honeymoon.
Not
We'll
a cruise, but a
we'll all go to an island.
all-inclusive, yeah.
Go hang out on the island somewhere.
You
You
go
found
down to,
one. He sent me a link the other night. He's like legit, actually was looking shit up, I guess.
You go down to Cancun,
Did you?
Cancun
Oh, okay.
area
He sent me a whole thing.
for not that much money, like a $2,000
Yeah.
5-day 4-day excursion. You know, what I mean, all exclusives. You know?
$1,100.
It's not so bad.
No, yeah.
I got a passport now. It's good for 10 years, so I'm able to get out there in the mix. I had to get one expedited. I'm hopeful that I'll win this competition thing at work to go drive dune buggies in Mexico, but we shall see.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get one.
Oceanfront, the Oceanfront King Suite is more expensive.
Does it
yeah.
come with fishing poles?
Yeah, that's the other question that we need to like look into, babe.
You need to
is
make
that-
sure that you're not getting kicked out for dropping a line.
Look, if I was spending fucking
Exactly.
whatever, I should be allowed to do whatever fuck I want.
I don't
goddammit.
disagree. I don't disagree with
It's all
that.
inclusive, motherfucker. That's so you opting, so fishing is opted out, bro. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I need some money
Where's the
back.
manager at?
Uh-huh.
All inclusive means everything, right? Everything, motherfucker. Y'all can cook the fucking fish and charge people for it. For all I give a fuck. I don't care. I'm gonna just reel it in, bro.
gonna
And
go
let
put
it
it
go,
back.
or y'all can eat the motherfucker if y'all. I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
if y'all.
I don't know what y'all do in this country.
What y'all-
You know what I mean? I don't know what your limit is around, bro. All I know is I'm just catching the motherfucker. Now, if you want to eat it, here you go.
You are a consistent motherfucker with that. That is for sure.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna see.
If not, let the
fishing-
motherfucker swim and get bigger. I don't care.
I'll catch him next year,
Yeah,
too.
or I'm gonna catch him again, because I'm going right back out of the water,
Throw the
son.
water right out the same spot.
Y'all hold me up. The fish biting. We ain't got time for this chit chat.
You need a fish marker. Do they make a fish marker
So
that you can literally like Sharpie on and it'll come off in like a week and a half or whatever, but you can see if you catch them the same day? Like I put a smiley face on this here.
Nah,
deal.
you would just probably put a tag, like a tag. They got like them tracker tags they
See,
eventually fall out.
that's nowhere near as fun.
Yeah, but it's hard to write all wet surface, let alone
Yeah,
fish
yeah.
with a marker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Right,
need a
spray
Sharpie.
paint that motherfucker
I need a
or something.
fish Sharpie that I can write a smiley face on.
Etch a
So-
sketch something
Drop
in
it
his
back
ass.
in.
at this place, baby, you can fish from the shore. It's not a problem. If you do offshore fishing, like on a boat, you actually have to have a Mexican fishing license.
Oh wow.
But you can fish from the shore.
That's fine. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna be like, give me that fish carcass that y'all got right there. Let me just
You don't want to get out there in the water. You might get blown up these days.
It says that the best time to fish the most abundant fish, which is the billfish, is generally from March to September. And May and June are like the hottest months to go, apparently.
Temperature-wise.
Temperature-wise,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you're right on it. You're down there in damn Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, near the equator.
Yeah, hot down
And
there.
they say that sometimes the beaches can be affected by large accumulations of algae, which can create
Yeah.
difficulty for fishermen and unpleasant odor.
It'll give you that unpleasant odor. And if you get in that water, it might give you that brain
Red
disease.
tide?
Yeah,
Ugh.
red
Have you
tide.
ever been? Yeah, you've seen
Yeah.
red tide down in Florida.
Give you that
It's
brain
disgusting.
disease with the
So stinky.
brain-eating amoebas. You gotta watch out. End up like a zombie.
Yeah, that's another thing. You fly all the way over to this place, you can't get in the water. That'd be a mad motherfucker. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, that's no fun, but that's the risks you take, man. It could be hurricane season. You never can't tell what the fuck might be happening.
Well, you can plan around that. I mean, you're going down the equator, so you can plan on whatever. You know what I mean? In theory.
In theory.
You wouldn't want to go down there between June and August.
You
I
know,
don't
but it's
think,
like,
you know what
I worked a place where
This place is beautiful.
they were giving away trips to the Dominican Republic. And I was like, yo, no thank you. They were like, why don't you want to go? I said, you realize the Dominican Republic is connected to Haiti, right? And they were like, what are you so worried about? And I was like, oh, geez, I don't know. Things are a little unstable there. And then not 2 weeks later, they had that warlord overthrow things in the
Oh, shit.
in the
should go down
capital,
there.
and they were cooking people in the streets and shit. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't want to be standing at the fenced-in resort pointing at the fucking cloud, the smoke coming up out of the, the neighboring village, and be like, yeah, they're cooking people over there. I'm not interested in going to that fucking place.
Yeah.
That's madness. Absolute madness.
I would probably still go. I'm a sucker for a trip.
Well, see, because, I'd want to go and take my camera and go wander around, see what happens, get myself killed. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
because you'd be interested in the grittier side of
Yeah,
life down
I'd be
there.
looking into
I would
things.
be the same way. When I went to the Bahamas, the couple that I went with, so I did go in an all-inclusive trip once. But my boyfriend and I at the time had booked it as an anniversary trip with our friends who were celebrating 10 years of marriage or whatever. We broke up 2 months before the trip. And I still went with my friends as the third wheel. And it was really lame. I'm not gonna lie, I did not have as good of a time as I probably would have had
if you had somebody to hang out with.
Yeah,
Because you're not going to be like, hey, y'all aren't fucking now. You want to go for a walk or something? And no, we're going to go for a walk and then come back and fuck.
Well,
and you
and
don't want to be all up in the mix.
I made friends with the people, while they were doing their romance stuff, and I was trying to give them space and everything. I was trying not to be up their ass, and I can make friends about anywhere I go. So I started making friends with the staff and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Who's got the weed?
For real.
And these cabana boys or whatever, one night were like, oh, you should come with us to we're having a family cookout, and I wanted to go so fucking bad. It was 15 minutes from where the resort was. And they're you literally could walk there. And I tell my friends, I'm I'm gonna go to this cookout thing while you guys go do your couples excursion.
They're like, no, you're going to get kidnapped.
They were like, fuck you, no. I'd never had somebody that wasn't my daddy or my boyfriend or my husband crack down on me so hard the way that this man, my friend Jeff, did. How he cracked down on me. He was like, I'm responsible for your safety. Even though you are an independent, strong woman here by yourself, and you're not my woman or whatever, but he fucking ringed me and was like, you are not fucking going, young lady. And I was just like, can't tell me what to do. But I was I was gonna huff off, and then it was dark outside. I was like, maybe I shouldn't go by myself. This is weird, I just didn't want to go.
Yeah, no, look, there
But
was,
I really wanted
there was
to try
probably a
the
pretty
food.
good chance that it would have been no big deal.
Yeah, I wanted the
But-
authentic food. He was
But there's
talking about the
also
food.
there's also a chance that
Conch salad.
everything could have been
Come on.
fine, but you might have shown up and there might have been some dude that wasn't even there looking over the fence at you like, I'm going to kidnap that bitch as soon as I get out
Exactly.
of here. You know what I mean?
You gotta be more
You're like, I'm going to
careful
walk
than that.
15 minutes back, and then you get 7.
Yeah, could've been good,
Scooped
could've
up
been
in the
bad.
back of, guess what? A van. You did it in the back of some Mexican's
Next thing you
van.
know-
Hang in the van down by the river.
I'm a 35-year-old sex trafficking
In a
victim.
van down by the river.
Yes.
Yeah, it could have gone bad. Fortunately, it
Could have
didn't.
been great though.
Yeah.
Could have been the best party you ever fucking
the
went to. The
best
food was the
tacos,
most amazing. You
greatest-
know what I mean? Like,
the
burrito,
unfortunate thing
whatever.
is that if I had had a partner with me, I think I could have gotten away with going.
Yeah.
If I had the.
So it would have been his responsibility. He'd have
Yeah.
been like, that's that man's girl.
Well, I
and that
guess,
man
yes.
and his girl are going off it out. And
And
I have no.
everybody would have been okay because I would have had a male escort.
If something
with me.
had happened to you, he would have felt bad for the rest of his life. And he wasn't willing to let you take that risk.
And he definitely didn't want to go with me. They had no
Nah.
desire to leave the resort the entire time we
hell
were
no.
fucking there.
Well, that's like the thing. Like if I went to the Dominican Republic and wanted to wander around and ended up in Haiti or some shit, like you know, things could go bad.
See,
things could go real
I'm
bad.
intrigued as well, like you are though, with like the grittier side of real life.
Do you follow Kurt Kaz on YouTube? It's this
no.
dude from South Africa that goes all over the world.
Yeah,
and he walks
goes
around
to like the real
Goes
places.
to some wild
the
shit.
ghetto.
Hey, he's been in. It's funny. Europe's rougher right now than all the places in South America he's been
That
to.
doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, Europe's out of control. Yeah,
Yep.
people throwing bottles at him and shit in Europe.
It's been downhill ever since Brexit.
Before that, I think
I
it
know,
goes a little
that's true.
further back than that.
That's very true.
Well, like the fact that like I'm scared to have our boy Brandon come on because I wouldn't want him to say something that might get him locked up.
Who's Brandon?
The dude in England.
my boy from England.
Our guy from England that's been on the show a few times. He hasn't been on in a few years, but like he's a good dude, and we enjoy talking to him. But like they're locking people up in England for Facebook posts, man. We can't have him on this show. We could.
Wow.
He might get himself arrested.
Can we voice change him?
That's creepy.
Maybe through Zoom or something. There's a
If you
voice.
could voice change him, that's
That'd be funny
that's not him.
if we had him not through his voice.
We could call him Brendan.
The problem is they could go back and see him in old episodes and shit if they wanted. Like, and I'm not going back and re-editing things to, not for the protection even of.
All right, so we bring him on as a new cat. We say shout out to our England cat Brandon for hooking us
Touche.
up with our boy
Yeah, he hooked
White
us up
Smoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and White Smoke will be on like.
And White,
What's going on?
We
get him one of them things
We
to
get
talk
him
to.
we get a neck thing, and he can just talk with the neck thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Be like, yeah, there's a homie over there.
Talking to the hole in my neck.
So, bro, glad to see you, man. It's been a long time, man. We be good in the game.
Good to meet you. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. You just couldn't.
Thanks for
you know what I
having
mean?
me.
Just have to know camera. You have to have his camera off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be a blackout.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be a blank space where this dude is. This guy from England.
have the outline, you know
wear
what
like
I
a
mean?
Zorro mask.
Ah, now
Yeah,
you're
there you
talking.
go.
Yeah.
You could edit like a black box over his eyes.
We could definitely edit him out. We could definitely
Yeah.
do that. I have the talents and abilities.
I know you do. You got skill.
It would be definitely a doable thing. It'd be taking a lot more time to do a video, but like that's only on occasion that we'd have to edit someone out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I worry for him and his safety. People are getting locked up over there for posting shit on Facebook, let alone
Sad.
speaking on a podcast. It's crazy. Absolute madness. God
Yeah, I
damn.
mean, freedom of speech, it's there, but it's not really there.
It's not technically there. It's over if it is there. They try to do that here though too.
Well, yeah, they're always trying to regulate every goddamn thing.
That's why there's no editing here.
Trying to hold the man down.
It's we don't say grape on this podcast. We call it what it is. I can't deal. It's all this newspeak shit. It's 1984. It's fucking bullshit. That's what they're trying to do. They're regulating our speech via Facebook and YouTube and shit.
Yep.
Making people change the words that they say.
Well, I'm about sick of it that my phone listens so much, so intently. I'm such a fucking talker in life that like the things that I talk about, my phone, you know, our phones are always fucking listening. And I was telling Andrew the other day, I was like, I don't really know if like half of our relationship, its growth areas or opportunities in our relationship are being like subliminally suggested to me because my phone is listening to me like vent about something dumb you did to a girlfriend, or I'm like, I Google one time like attachment styles in relationships, and now like every time I open my phone it's like I'm being inundated with like pro-female, anti-men memes and like being, you know, like does your partner do this? And
Maintaining
here's,
a divided
like,
populace.
Well, yeah, and
we
like
don't even
like,
want congruent relationships. That's the way the
fucked up.
system's set up right now.
It's fucked up.
It's incredibly fucked up.
Like I open Instagram and it's like 10 signs that he's fallen out of love with you. And I'm like, what are you doing to me, my life phone? Like, why are you trying to get me to think that something negative is happening? It's really starting to piss me off. Like, I need to go into all my settings and figure out like what it is that they're, because I don't allow apps to track like other apps information. So why does Instagram know what Google stuff I'm looking up?
Because, well, I don't know that.
don't
Instagram
like
and Facebook, I could see being in sync because they're owned by Meta both at the same
Maybe
time.
that's how what it is. Like
But-
if I click on a video one time on Facebook because it looks interesting, and I
Yeah,
think
there's
yeah.
too much of that. Sort of everything's connected. Like my shit's the same way. Like
drives me crazy.
I look up like one exercise thing, and then it's a whole bunch of exercise stuff being advertised to me, or like one hey, you could do this or that. Like oh, you're this old, so you need this, this, and this, and I'm like, Psh, I don't need that shit.
I know.
I'm doing just fine. Living my damn life. Everything's
Yeah.
fine. You know, things aren't, but everything's fine.
I'm not dying. I'm not
Like-
bleeding. I'm okay.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll get there. I think I'll make it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I keep trying. And things keep happening. And the motherfucker just keeps on finding things to show me that most of the time I'm like completely uninterested in. But you know, one time you look and they're like, hey, don't forget.
There's a lesson.
Remember that thing? Like, I got shit still advertising to me that I bought.
Yeah.
You know, like half the shit that's in my feed, I'm like, I have bought that. I do get that. Like that one's a good idea. Like the beef tallow bars. You seen those?
Yes.
They're
I've
ju-
heard about
they're not-
that whole beef tallow
They're not
thing.
delicious, but
Does
they're
it
not.
help? Does it make you
They're
feel
not
better?
bad,
Like,
but
what's
yeah,
the
when
deal
I
with
when I
tallow?
eat it,
Beef
I
tallow?
don't like. There's like a
You know
protein
what beef
bar.
tallow is?
No.
It's like essentially beef fat, like condensed beef fat.
It's like there's like a big health push right now, like
It's
where
like a healthy
people
fat.
Are kind of like not the Liver King dude, who was that guy that got exposed?
That was Liver King.
Liver King, yeah, but he wasn't drinking beef tallow. He was actually
He was just eating raw liver, I think.
intestines and
Yeah.
shit. Like,
And
yeah, he was eating everything.
That's what he was saying he was doing, but he was also doing steroids or
Roids,
something.
yeah, it was
and,
roids.
You know, so yeah, he wasn't quite all.
Is that
big-
that shit?
he was a big fake.
Was that shit we were watching? That
Yes.
fake ass mountain man.
Yes, and you were irritated
That
because I
bitch
put
was on roids.
another
That
documentary.
motherfucker was on roids. He was
really was.
goddamn ultimate warrior minus the cocaine, bro. I'm trying to tell you,
was.
like he man was literally ultimate warrior minus the cocaine, son. So
was.
roided out like a bitch.
It is wild though that his kids were so sick and then they got better after they started eating liver.
All those motherfuckers was like Big Papa Pump. That motherfucker had a muscle on his muscle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Steiner brother motherfucker.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had like another bicep on his bicep.
It's
bro.
like it grew out of his
What the
bicep.
fuck?
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's like supposed to be like that, bro.
I don't even think it's all that cool. Like
That's like an action figure. Like
steroids, as I understand them, are really supposed to be for recovery more than like mass building. But I guess like if you're trying to build mass and you're doing steroids, your ability to put mass on is like greatly increased due to the recovery that it provides you.
Yeah, I mean, they-
where your muscles rebuild themselves like 10 times quicker or
That dude
something.
was definitely on roids.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I can always tell when somebody's on steroids at the gym and stuff because they have that extra like muscle right up here, because I feel like most guys that naturally get buff don't ever get that part right here, the traps.
It's the same thing
The
where
trap,
like
that's like a telltale sign.
this,
this thing
part
up here?
Yeah.
but then you get like
well,
another bump on the top
it depends
of it.
on what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
my job, I do a lot. I use that muscle a lot.
So you actually probably could get that.
Yeah, but your shit's not like protruding from
Yeah,
you
because
and
I'm
all
not
weird.
working. I'm just toning it technically. You know what I'm
It's-
saying?
right,
but like,
right.
I would in my job, I would work that muscle. As in some other jobs, you want to work that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you were actually lifting weights and shit. You know.
I mean, I guess depending on how you lift weights, depends on how the muscle builds on
Well, yeah.
top of you. And these guys are going for an aesthetic more than anything else. So the more you can stack muscles on top of muscles, I guess that might be
Well, yeah.
the aesthetic that they're going for. But I don't know, man. If I was going to try to get in super, super good shape, I would not be going for like the bicep inside of my bicep of Scott Steiner.
You know
You know what I mean? I don't want Davey Boy Smith neck. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want all that shit.
The other way I can tell somebody at the gym is on steroids is the back knee. And like acne and stuff. Like steroids make you have a lot of body acne. That's like a whole thing.
If you're using them on the regular, I imagine so, because it's fucking with your body's natural ability to produce whatever it needs. You know, it's better to ease into that sort of stuff. Like I was listening, there was a guy on Rogan talking about GLP-1s, and he was saying that like people get injured because they're too big a dose, and that you need to do really tiny doses of it. If you're going to do it, do like super tiny doses for a little while and see how that affects you.
Yeah.
And there's another compound that he was saying needed to be in it that doesn't allow the muscle to break down. So he was saying it's like a stack that they do, and that's what they're doing at Ways to Well in Texas. And he was complaining about how the FDA is stonewalling him and coming and doing mass inspections on his place on a regular basis, where they don't even do that with like regular compounding factories that are FDA approved and all this shit. And that it seems that the medical industry is behind on the peptide business and that sort of stuff, and that they're trying to like monopolize it and kick out the people that have been specializing in it for years that are really starting to make strides. They're just trying to take all that knowledge and fucking, you know, wall garden it.
Yeah.
And shit pisses me off, because like I've come to use some of this stuff and it really helps, and I want to go to Ways to Well at some point. Like if I ever get my medical lawsuit device money, like I'm gonna go see like Ways to Well, or go to Tech, or go to Tijuana to the Cellular Performance Institute.
That's interesting that there's like an additional thing that they could be doing with those GLP-1s where it doesn't break down the muscle mass. Because that was the biggest thing, because I was on that shit for almost like 4 months about.
Well, I would bet money that if you had gone through their pathway, you would have been much better off.
Yeah.
And it, like, I thought of you when he was talking, and it was making me upset.
Yeah.
Because like it seems like even I could benefit from it if I did very small dosage, like he was saying.
Well, that's the thing, is that the doctors don't. They have a very strict agreement with the insurance companies.
And it's the manufacturer of the product.
Yeah,
it's not the insurance companies. It's the manufacturer of the product.
It's the drug maker,
and they say you need to be selling big dosage, not small dosage.
They taper you up every month.
Well, but this was specifically covered in this episode of Rogan, because he was saying that they are trying to provide small dosages because it's really difficult to get, and the FDA is saying that people can get small dosages through their regular pharmacist providers. And they did a year study calling pharmacists all over the country asking for small dose GLP-1s, and they could not get them. 6% can be covered of what is necessary. And they can cover it, but that the big fucking pharmaceutical companies are requiring the drug purveyors, the medical professionals, to give out high dosages because that costs more money and makes them better money.
Like it was like the very first month I took it was like 0.25. Second month they're like, we're moving to a 0.5. I'm like, wow, but I really lost like a fuck ton of weight in 1 month. Like,
I don't need
like
more.
Most people, like
you shouldn't have done any more.
I'm reading all this stuff where it's like in the first month people are like, I only lost 3 pounds, and I'm like, how? I lost 15 fucking pounds in 1 month, like that. Just being on the 0.25, and they're like, let's graduate you to the 0.5, and then the next month
I'd have brought you back to 1 point or 0.15.
Yeah, there's not a thing. It starts out at 0.25.
See, and that's the problem. I'll bet like, what he's doing is probably 0.05.
I didn't even get up to the highest dosage because of the side effects and shit that I was having. I was like, no, we're gonna stop this because I'm tired all the time. I'm weak all the time. I wasn't eating. I was so severely malnourished, and like, it fucked with my thyroid somehow. Like, I don't know what really happened, but it's probably a combination of my own dumbass, like getting skinny and stopping my thyroid medication on top of taking the GLP-1s. But like, next thing you know, doctor's office, oh, you have Graves' disease. It's like, oh, okay. Well, like now, you know, what caused that? Was it just the GLP-1s? No, we don't think there's a correlation, but you know, those drugs are kind of new.
They can't admit
we don't
to that.
really know, but we can log this with the, you know, the powers that be, that you may be a potential case of somebody that got adversely affected by GLP-1s, but they don't really give a shit. It's the same thing like when the vaccines, that COVID vaccine, the booster that I got, like the one and only booster that I got, I started like having like 2 periods a month for like 6 months. And I finally went to an OBGYN, and they were like, let me ask you a question. Like 6 months ago, did you happen to get like a COVID booster? And I was like, yes. Yes, I did. And that's when like all this shit started happening, where I was like bleeding for 14 days straight. Like it was fucking ridiculous.
Were you having
like,
thyroid issues before that?
Oh yeah, I've had thyroid issues pretty much
Okay.
since I was like 32 is when I got diagnosed with like thyroid problems. And now they're saying that it's like mixed thyroiditis, where now I'm like able to go from being hypothyroid, where you're underproducing metabolism and like your metabolism's like trying to be attacked to like, or like not work, you know, and thyroid's not producing anything, and that's hypothyroidism. That's when I was like really fat in my early 30s and didn't know why. Like why I eat like a fucking bird. Why is everything that I eat, like why am I so big, you know? And I was working out and trying, and like
Because you
just
weren't
couldn't-
metabolizing things.
yeah, I
properly.
had no metabolism. And then it was like, you know, this hyperthyroidism, like the reason I kept losing weight after getting off of the GLP-1s and still lost another 25 pounds in the next like 6 months after that, is because my thyroid decided to fucking kick on and like overproduce metabolism.
Well, because it had probably been down for a while and was like, oh, we need more than I've now done.
Yeah, it's like,
So let me-
how
let
have
me
you
start
been
kicking, and then-
inactive for like 10 years of my life, the last 10 years of my life, and all of a sudden, you know, you start to produce. I mean, like both my parents had, one parent has hypo, one parent has hyper. So the doctors were like, you're going to be fucked with one or the other or both. And now they're saying it's like I got on anti-thyroid medication because of the Graves' disease, and then my blood work right after being on the medication showed that I was actually it turned me hypothyroid. So like I'm going back and forth between having Graves' disease and Hashimoto's. And that's what's been going on, like health-wise, and it makes it really fucking frustrating because there's weird things that happen, like heat intolerance, and like every time I get out of my car, like I get dizzy, and it's so hard, like just trusting that these drugs that I'm taking every day are like doing shit, you know? Like it's just like I have no patience for waiting for like long-term medical conditions to start to feel better. Like I want to be able to take the pill and it's like a headache, and immediately all the symptoms should just immediately go away, and that's just not the case with like most long-term diseases.
Yeah,
it's just something you got to deal with forever.
That's terrible.
It's a lot of blood work, man. It's like just all blood work every 2 months. Blood work is what it's going to be. The doctor told me for at least the first year. Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta keep checking your numbers.
Yeah, because like if one medication's working for the hyperthyroidism, it's going to spin me to hypothyroidism, and then they got to give me a different medication for that. It's a bunch of bullshit. It sucks. It's frustrating, and it's like hard to explain to people that like certain symptoms make me have like severe anxiety, and that's because when you're having like symptoms of like the hyperthyroidism stuff, your heartbeat will just boom, boom, boom at like the slightest bit of nerves.
It's giving you that cocaine
Like,
paranoia.
Yeah, like shit that I am normally so good at, like presenting in front of a class. Like I'm good at that. That's part of who I am.
You don't mind being in front of people, but now your heart starts racing,
Yes,
and
yes.
it has nothing to do with.
And all of
your
a sudden,
normal-
like my presentation skills are out the fucking window because all I can hear is my heartbeat, and I'm trying to regulate my breathing, but I'm also trying to read the slides that I wrote, and I'm also trying to think about how like, oh, my vision's starting to go. I need to calm down, and like, yeah, it's really fucked up. It's fucked up what's happening. It's crazy. But I'm not the only one. I mean, I know so many women right now, especially women. I don't really hear about dudes this often. Maybe guys just don't talk about their medical stuff as much, and that's why women don't like. I feel like it's mostly women that this kind of thing is happening with. Like
I feel like women are way more
doctors are just
open
kinda like,
to just spilling it out, especially these days. Like,
yeah.
And like you like to talk, like Mike's wife likes to talk. She says everything crazy, all kinds of stuff.
She has bad experiences with doctors too, where like
Yeah,
they're
me
not,
too.
they really don't fucking listen to you. Like
Right, yeah.
and they don't. You have to be obnoxious to like get them to run blood
You have to
tests
spend. You have
and,
to
like,
spend hundreds, if not thousands, more than you would need to spend if they would just listen to you, or have any sort of respect for your own ability to judge what's going on with your body.
Yeah, with your own body.
Yeah. Well, it's my body, and I felt it for years and years, and now it's doing this, which it didn't do because of that, and this seems to be the issue. No, that can't be the issue. Why not? Because that would be a medical malpractice lawsuit that you could have against somebody that's in my profession, and I can't actually care about your health. I have to concern myself with protecting someone that I've never met.
Yeah.
because you're giving up on the Hippocratic Oath. Because you're a fucking hypocrite, so it's sort of befitting. But, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, we're going to have to bring this episode of the Mason and Friends Show to a close. I would like to thank you so very much for listening, and would like to encourage you to listen to old episodes as well as new episodes. Like, share, subscribe. Give a shout out to the homie Mike on his honeymoon. We wish you and your lovely bride the greatest of times. Hope to see you back here in a couple of weeks. And, be nice to people that look like you. Be nice to people that don't look like you. Don't be a dick. Keep grinding on the things you're trying to get done, because that is how they get done. Don't forget, we love you very much. And peace be with you.
Peace.